What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Axe Creation. And on this week's lesson, we take a deeper look into some 7-string chord voicings. So in the last 7-string lesson, we talked about using shell voicings and kind of smooth melodic or voice leading between them as we move horizontally across the neck. And I want to just expand on that a little bit, introduce the sus2 chord, a very common chord, and just to use that to maybe open up the lower range of the 7-string guitar for those of you who are maybe unfamiliar and unclear, and how we can use these small chord voicings to kind of map out the fretboard. Alright? So again, I want to talk about the sus2 chord. So I'm in standard tuning. We have a D chord. We're going to look at some major and minor variations of them. Right? So we're going to have this sus2 chord, which is neither major or minor. Alright, so if we start on the 3rd fret of the low string, we have basically whole steps moving across the strings. 3, 5, 7. And then we have our major 7 chord voicing, which is 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 4th fret, which is root 3rd, 7th. Those of you who have watched a lot of videos on this channel, you know that I use this chord a lot. Alright? So what I want to do is I want to take this sus chord, and then I want to take the major 7 voicing, but I'm going to put it up an octave. Right? And then use that to kind of climb our way through these chords and connect them in different ways. And hopefully, again, that opens up the fretboard a little bit. You make connections that maybe you didn't have before. And also you can come up with some cool creative lines or some creative riffs. Alright? So what we can do is we can play this chord and then jump into that chord. And if you want to strum, you can do anything you want with that. And what we can do is we can crawl up these chords. Right? Which is kind of fun thing to do. So you're basically walking up that sus2 chord and grabbing that 7th there on the D string. Right, and then the frets for the D chord on nip and up the octave is on the A string it's 5, and then 4, and then 6. And then melodically, you can kind of add on whatever you want to do with that. And I've put some very simple examples in the tab, and you can find the link for that down below in the description, okay? So, another thing we can do with that, just to create a variation on it, is now swap those 2 chords. Let's put the major 7 voicing down here, on the low strings, 3, 2, 4. Right, and then put the sus chord up an octave on the A string, so it's 5, 7, 9. So now we can walk up that version of it. Right? So I'm just combining that chord with this chord, the same way we combined. You can even come up with lots of different ideas just by doing that. Okay, so let's look at some minor versions of those. Real simple. So from D, if we've been playing in the key D, we can just move up a whole step, and now we're playing E minor. Right, so our sus chord is going to stay the same. So we can play the 5, 7, 9, which is this note is E. And then the minor 7 version of this, if we go to the E on our A string, right, we can go 7, 5, 7. Right, and that's a minor 7 voicing, just a root, a third, and the minor 7. So now we can walk up that one. Alright, so we're just kind of combining those two chords just like we did before. Right? Which is a nice thing. And now, look again, just like we swapped octaves, let's swap octaves here. Let's play the minor 7 voicing in this position, so it's 5, 3, 5. And then we can play the E sus up an octave. In 7th position, all for our A string, 7, 9, 11. And that's a really nice voicing too, because when you get to that B string, get that nice dissonance when we add in the 3rd chord with that, with the minor second, with the 2nd. So again, we can walk up and create those. All right, so I put a couple different examples, very simple ideas in the tabs, which you can find in the description below. All right, and hopefully this opens up some of the lower register. So if you're new to 7-string guitar, that does that. Otherwise, maybe we make some new connections with some smooth voice leading and some chords to kind of open up the 7-string, so being able to move horizontally and vertically on the guitar. Again, just mapping it out, opening up the fretboard for ourselves. So that's it. Like I said, the link for the tabs is down below. And as always, let me know what you come up with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.